Monday Night Football, the Los Angeles Chargers travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Today I got my favorite player prop, spread pick, and same game parlay coming your guys' way. What's going on? My name's Austin from Calling Our Shot, and I'll recap how all of our picks did in Week 16 next week because I'm recording this a little bit early for the slate. But either way, if you celebrated Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays. Hopefully you guys had a great day. And if you are new to our channel, go down below, hit that subscribe. And we just passed 61,000 subscribers. We certainly would appreciate it. Let's hop into my player prop. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. I'm going with the guy on the Indianapolis Colts, a wide receiver that you might not expect. I like Alec Pierce, over 40.5 receiving yards, minus 115 on DraftKings. Now, it's awfully bold of me to take an over and Pierce, a guy that had a big 0. Yes, he had 0 receiving yards last week, but he's getting a new quarterback this week in Nick Foles, and I got to be honest, can't be worse than Matt Ryan, right? I mean, Sam Ehlinger was kind of worse, but I don't think Nick Foles, a veteran guy, will be worse than Matt Ryan, and Nick Foles is not afraid to take shots, and that Alec Pierce, a guy that's not afraid of going deep, and he could hit this play in one play. He's certainly capable of doing that. Now, like I said, Pierce, 0 yards back last week, but he also had 0 yards back in week 12, a game, and then the next week in week 13, he bounced back with 86 yards. Or I think it might have been the week after. They had a bye week somewhere in there. But Pierce has been up and down all year long, largely due to inconsistent QB play. Like I said, he's had to deal with Matt Ryan, then Sam Ehlinger for 2 games, then back to Matt Ryan. It's been a mess in Indianapolis, but I think Pierce gets back on track here because this is a big game. Well, not a big game necessarily for the Colts. They're kind of out, but Pierce has been pretty good at home, and that's where I want to target Pierce here. Now, he's over this line in 4 of 6 home games, averaging 47.2 receiving yards per game. That's really weighted down because he had a 0 receiving yard game somewhere in there. But the Chargers secondary, who they're taking on Monday night, hasn't been great, and the Colts are going to be without Jonathan Taylor. While they'll likely suit up, Zach Moss, Deion Jackson, and those guys, the run game's not going to be as consistent. It hasn't been that good all year long, and the Chargers are on offense that can put up points. Now, you look at Pierce, what I like to target is air yards, and over the last 4 games, 62, 110, 29, and 92 air yards over the last 4. So they're targeting him deep. Last week, despite 0 receiving yards, he had 4 targets, just couldn't haul in any of them, had 62 air yards, and while air yards don't equal receiving yards on the stat sheet, he at least is getting the targets deep, and all we have to need him is to connect with Nick Foles. Now, like I said, the Chargers have allowed the 2nd most passing yards in the NFL this season, and over the last 10 games, they've allowed 20 players to hit this over. So that included 3+ players on several different teams, on 4 teams to be exact. Pierce is not necessarily a guy that's going to go out there and probably catch 10 receptions. That's not his game. That's Michael Pittman Jr. more. But Pierce is a guy that can go out there, get his 40 or more receiving yards, and I certainly think he will catch this. I think Michael Pittman Jr. will be a target for the Chargers. The tight ends might struggle, and overall, Pierce could get loose deep. He could get it done. I'm riding with the rookie on Monday Night Football. Now for my game pick, I don't love either spread, so I'm going to go with this one. Chargers to win by 1 to 13 points, plus 135 on FanDuel. Going for a plus 135 winner. Look, sign me up. Now, this is a FanDuel exclusive pick. It's a win margin there, but if you want to take it on BetMGM or DraftKings, you would same game parlay. Obviously, the Chargers to win, but also the Colts to win, cover the plus 13.5. Now, if you want my spread lean, it's probably the Colts plus 4.5, but I refuse. I say this, I refuse to lose money betting on Indianapolis. Look, the Colts have just been an icky team all year long, but I do think they can keep this within 13.5. Now, I look at these 2 teams and we see the Colts going one way, we see the Chargers going another way, and ultimately you always have a chance with the back door. The Colts be down by 20 points, the Chargers are like, screw it, we don't care anymore. And the Colts could score a touchdown at the end and lose by 13, and that cashes this. But you look at the Chargers playing better, but this is and the Colts coming off the worst blown lead in the NFL history, but that led to obviously Nick Foles starting here. But the Chargers I just don't know if they're allowed to blow out teams. They're like the Minnesota Vikings. They don't blow out teams. You look at the Chargers, 8-6. Trying to get to the playoffs, all 8 of those wins came by 10 or less points, not just 13 or less, 10 or less. So they haven't even beaten a team by 13 or double digit, by more than 10 points, and 7 of those wins came by 6 or less. So they have struggled to really put away teams and just finish them early. That's not their MO. The only win they think they had by 10 points was against the Texans. And look, the Chargers, I love them, but their defense hasn't showed up. It's been Herbert trying to carry the team. And look, I have faith in Herbert in the offense to get it going, but I just don't think their defense is going to be capable of holding down the Colts team. And they look at the Colts on the other side, 4-9-1. It's been a season to forget. But of their 9 losses, 3 of them came by 14 or more points. And all 3 of those occurred on the road. They're at home in Indianapolis, so they got the home crowd on their side. And at home, the Colts are just 2-4. They've lost those 4 games by 1, 7, and 7 points. Been some heartbreakers in there, but they've had tons of success. We've had tons of success on this type of bet throughout not only this year, but also last year. I think this is a Chargers game they need to win, but I don't think it's a blowout. And I think you always got a chance for maybe a hedge potential if you ever want to. Let's say the Chargers are up by, 3 or 7 points and the Colts are charging at the end of the game trying to tie it or maybe go for a win. you always can hedge and take the Colts money line and guarantee that you're at least walking out ahead. Maybe you get like plus 400 on the Colts money line. You have plus 135 on here. And look, you're going to guarantee to win. So either way, I like the Chargers to win by 1 to 13 points. I think that's pretty good. I think it's a pretty solid pick. So I'll take it for Monday Night Football. Now, of course, we end up the video with same game parlay time. Look, we're going to get into this last Monday Night Football. We cashed out. This Monday Night Football is going to be tough. It's not an easy game to make an SGP for, but we're going to ride with this one. We got 4 legs, and I want to talk about each of them. I want to talk about Nick Foles, 200 plus passing yards. Justin Herbert, 250 plus passing yards. Austin Eckler, anytime touchdown, and Michael Pittman Jr., 50 plus receiving yards, plus 230 on DraftKings. Now, I don't necessarily advise that you can always play your SGPs, same game parlays, however you feel. I don't really suggest putting a full unit on this or even a half unit, but it's up to you. It's the day after Christmas. Maybe you got some good Christmas gifts and you can do whatever you want. But let's talk about Foles first, because obviously he's making the start for Matt Ryan. 200 plus passing yards, certainly capable of doing it. I already talked about the Chargers. They've given up a ton of passing yards this season. And 200 plus, Matt Ryan was able to get 200 plus consistently. Matt Ryan wasn't all that good. And Nick Foles should be able to do it. Like I said, he's a veteran QB. 200 plus passing yards is not too crazy to ask for. They're in a dome. No weather will affect him here. I think he's starting to get 200 plus. And if they're trailing, he's going to have to throw it even more. Without Jonathan Taylor, I think they throw it a little more here. Now, Justin Herbert's been on a tear with over 300 yards the past couple games, but 250 plus for his passing yards. I mean, come on. He's got Mike Williams back, Keenan Allen. All the guys are back there. The run game isn't great. So I think he certainly could get that done. 250 plus. That feels safe even if he has a bad game. Justin Herbert can go out there and put like 150 yards in one quarter if he gets hot. Now, Austin Eckler, the next leg, anytime touchdown. Now, you can't make this an individual play for one unit because it's like minus 190. But look, Eckler, touchdown in 9 of his last 11 games. And that includes several games where he had more than one. The Colts have allowed 16 rushing touchdowns this year. That's tied for 7th most in the league. And you know Austin Eckler, he doesn't need to get a rushing touchdown. He can also get a receiving touchdown. He can do it all, and he's been doing it all for them. The only really concern here is that he could get injured, but we're not going to wish that upon Austin Eckler, a fellow Austin. I would never do that. So anytime touchdown for him, certainly capable. And MPJ, Michael Porter Jr., I'm getting ready to record NBA. Michael Pittman Jr., 50 plus receiving yards. He's as consistent as they come. He loves, I consider his regular over, that man loves finishing within 5 to 10 yards of his over line. And MPJ, 50 plus receiving yards in 10 of 11 games this year without Sam Ehlinger. Sam Ehlinger was really, really bad. They didn't even throw the ball with Ehlinger. He was like Malik Willis out there. But look, I think with Nick Foles, he's going to get a lot of targets. So will Alec Pierce. So will probably Paris Campbell. We just have to hope Alec Pierce is the guy that has a good day. And maybe Michael Pittman Jr. can get his 50 plus receiving yards for this. Plus 230. Fine. I'll take a stab at it. It's not like we're going for plus 900, plus 9,000 value, but this is not the greatest game on the slate. Chargers versus Colts. Look, I'll take my chances at it. So those are my favorite plays. We're riding with the Chargers to win by 1 to 13 for a little bit of plus 135. And then we're riding with Alec Pierce, our big play guy, over 40.5 receiving yards. Let me know your favorite plays down below in the description. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. If you ever need any Sportsbook sign-up bonuses, all those are linked down below in the description. My name's Austin. I'll be back for some more videos, probably an NBA video on Monday morning. I'll see you guys there in the next one. Peace out.